a lot of people that talk about this stuff, they always say, well, the data isn't sufficient enough, and you know what, there's not enough science to know much about it. And to be honest, for the last at least 2 months of me kind of going through a lot of videos and going through a lot of the research, a lot of it goes over my head, even reading the graphs, hearing this stuff. So in terms of looking at all this stuff, and there's a lot of substantial evidence in terms of things have been changing with technology and with the industrial age, but prior to this whole idea of natural disasters and natural occurrences, the influxation between the two, I haven't seen a graph of those two. I've only seen one graph of this and one graph of this.
Look, there is data going all the way back, but it's different data. I mean, they didn't have, satellites to measure the temperature of the Earth.
Yes.
They didn't have accurate thermometers in lots of places around the Earth. A lot of it was just people recording data, and they've had to infer a lot of stuff. And I agree, it's not, they're doing the best job they can, but the data that we get now on temperature is far more accurate than we're using from 300, 400 years ago. But it's pretty clear that it has never been this hot in recent history.
Yeah, it's definitely getting a lot hotter by what it shows here.
I mean, you go back to the glaciers, and there were glaciers, and then the glaciers all took over the whole Earth in sheets of glass, of ice, and then they all disappeared again. So obviously the temperatures were changing. And I do actually have a graph which, I mean, I don't know how well you can interpret it. This shows CO2 levels as glaciers occurred, glaciations, and you've got this here. This is the increase in CO2 for one glacial period, and here's another one here. This is our CO2 from this one. And it's gone
CO2
through the roof.
for people that don't
So
know.
linear correlation between the increase in CO2 and the deglacial process.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that, again, we watched the movie documentary with Al Gore called An Inconvenient Truth.
Yes.
We watched that.
That was the first video I saw on
Yeah,
this.
and he goes into great detail about how big mountains, one of them such as Mount Kilimanjaro, has no longer snow on it as much as what it used to have decades ago. It has lost a lot of its snow, and a lot of places in the Northern Hemisphere, a lot of mountains have just lost a lot of their snow. A lot of ice sheets are withdrawing, glaciers are withdrawing too. So, yeah, it's a worldwide thing, and we can all see that.